Hey, what's up guys, it's DJ. Today we're going to take a look at every piece of equipment that comes with the premium expansion for Farming Simulator 22. We are going to go through and look at every single customization option for every piece in here, and we'll talk about some special features that some of the equipment has, like this guy right here. Let's start with the vehicles. First is the pickup 1984, 90 horsepower, manual transmission, 60 liters of fuel, 49 miles an hour, and weighs 1.2 tons. Wheel setup, we have a standard, standard 2, and standard number 3. Main color, we've got all the base game colors. We'll go with light blue. Design color, this is actually going to be the bed of the truck, so you can get pretty creative there. And then rim color, of course, we have chrome, but we have all base game colors here as well. This truck has a very, very interesting starting sound. Very nice. Now, we could open our AI worker menu with this, and then we've got unfold car, and we have straps that are on the top. Next, we have the Salic Winnie F57 HTT. Excellent. 59 horsepower, manual transmission, 20 liters of fuel, goes 18 miles an hour, weighs 1.4 tons. This also has a great startup sound. And there's unfortunately nothing that we could do with this. This is an articulated tractor, so when it turns, the entire thing will articulate. This will be very, very interesting to try and drive in real life. Thirdly, we have the Zeta Crystal 16045. This is 150 horsepower, manual transmission, 195 liters of fuel, 15 miles an hour, and it weighs 5 tons. Wheel brands, we have quite a few on these. Again, the Trelleborg logo has changed. So we have Trelleborg, Michelin, Continental, Midas, BKT, Vredestein, and back in. At Trelleborg, we have a standard, wheel weight, wide tire, wides with weights, rear twins, and front twins as well, narrow tires. Then in Michelin, do we have anything that's different here? We do not have normal tires there, and it looks like we don't have our row crops in there as well. In Midas, just wides and wides with weights. BKT, we do have a few different ones, but nothing too crazy. And then it looks like we've got a full set other than the Care tires on the Vredestein. In the front weight section, we have no. Then we have a 200, 320, 420, 420, 400, 480, 560, 640, and nada. Very nice weight positioning right there. And then we have the main color, which can be red or blue. When we load in the game, we'll hear it start up. And we'll take a look and see if we can open and close anything, and the answer to that is no. Next, we got one I know a lot of you guys have been excited about. This is the Fiat 16090 DT. We could bump that horsepower up. We start with 160 horsepower, but we could do 180 as well if you would like, and pretty much everybody's going to do that, I'm sure. Manual plus power shift transmission, 180 liters of fuel, 24 mile per hour max speed, and it weighs 6.7 tons. Your wheel brands, we have Trelleborg, Michelin, Continental, Midas, BKT, Vredestein, and Nokian tires. So we have standard, wheel weight, wide tire, wides with weights, wide tire number 2, wide tire with weight number 2, rear twins, twins all the way around, and narrow tires that look really, really good. We have Michelin tires as well. Going through here, we have basically the same thing, including narrow tires. Then in Continental, we also have pretty much the same thing. We don't have an extra set of wide tires on there. Midas, we have wides with weights, and that's it. BKT, wides and wides with weights. We have wider BKT, which is pretty sweet. Vredestein, standard wheel weight, wide tire, wide with weights. And then big chunky on the rear. There you go. Rear duals all the way around. And Vredestein narrow tires. And of course, we have our communal in the Nokian. Fenders, we have yes or no. That's going to be on the front. On the back, it is chosen by the different wheels that you choose. And then your front loader options include the quickie, the Hauer, or nothing. Jumping in game. And it looks like there is nothing that we can do with this other than hire an AI worker to drive around. Interior is looking real good though. Now that's it for vehicles. However, our first harvester that we're going to talk about is also a vehicle. This is the Dwarf ZKIVSE. I'm sure that's a word, but to me it's just a bunch of letters jumbled up. We have 450 horsepower on here, variable transmission, 900 liters of fuel. It will go 15 miles an hour, 27.9 tons, and it is 3 meters at 4 miles per hour. It's going to be the second notch of 4 if you're curious. All we have on here is a license plate, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. I'm sure in real life you can't customize this either. Pretty good sound overall. We can unfold this, so we will show you that animation. Very nice. And at the same time, it actually has a counterweight on the front right-hand side there, which I find pretty darn cool. We can raise and lower this if we want to, and then we have, I think it's an additional little bit right there at the top. Yeah, so we can actually change a bit about that. Unfortunately, that is the only thing that we can do, and one good thing is, whatever you have that set at, you can hire the worker and they will stay there. Next, we have the Dwarf GCCI. This is the largest trailed harvester that we have with this DLC. It is a single row. We'll do all three of the new crops. 170 horsepower is required for this, and it's 6 mile per hour max working speed, which is pretty quick. Wheel brands on here, we have Trelleborg, Michelin, Continental, Midas, Vredestein, and back in. We're going to be using the Fendt 900, the 942 Vario Black Beauty, specifically for all of the equipment so that we keep it the same. On here, we can unfold the top lifting harvester, so when we do that, it kind of kicks it out a little bit, and then on the left-hand side, we've got that bit that comes down, which is pretty darn cool. As we pull forward, it'll kind of go out to the right just a little bit. Whenever you're turning, you've got a really good turning radius. However, when you back up, the wheels go straight to make it, well, more predictable. We can lower this, so we'll show you that. Boom, right through there. And if I try to turn it on, it says no box to fill available. So we will have to buy boxes for this. One of the easiest ways is to just buy them straight on like that. Bam. Whenever you're ready to unload, just come around wherever I guess you want to and click unload boxes. Whether these are full or empty, you can unload them. Now, one of the nice things on here is whenever we're done with that, we'll go ahead and lift the platform, and whenever we're ready to load boxes, it actually loads out from the front side. So I'm going to close that back up. Two different animations. We have one for loading and one for unloading. So let's load these boxes up. We will kick it out and get close to the boxes. Now, the nice thing is these basically auto load on. You see that? You don't even have to really be on it too much. There's a big pickup right in the front that gets all of them all four. Nice and easy. We will lift the platform and we're ready to go again. And just for fun, whenever you sell your equipment that have pallets, the pallets drop to the ground. The next harvester down is our only other multi-row harvester other than the self-propelled. This is the GKIIS. It is a 2-row harvester, 170 horsepower required, 1.5 meter working width at 6 miles per hour. Wheel brands, we have Trelleborg, Michelin, Continental, Midas, VKT, nope, Vredestein, and Trelleborg. We went out BKT. I'm so used to saying that all out loud. This one's actually pretty easy, as well as a few of the other pieces of equipment as well. So we're going to unfold it, which is going to kick it out to the side there, and then we are going to pipe out. So the pipe doesn't come out on its own. You will have to do that, but once it is out there, then we have full control over it, which is very, very nice. And it looks like we also have control over the front. So we've got complete control over that. If you guys want to kick it out a little bit more, maybe you've got some tractors with some larger wheels, like these, for example, well, then you'll be good to go. This is a harvester that you have to cart with. So, see that open area right there? Yeah, that's for carting. So you will have to do that. Same thing goes with the self-propelled harvester. No capacity options for these, but you don't have to worry about pallets either. So that's nice. The only harvester that's coming with this DLC that has a capacity is going to be this one, the GBC. It's got a capacity of 5.5 thousand liters. It also weighs 5.5 tons, 100 horsepower required, 0.8 meter working width because it's only one row, and it's going to be at 6 miles per hour. Wheel brands include Trelleborg, Michelin, BKT, Vredestein, and back in again. So let's get ourselves one of these. We'll jump out and see how it works. We're back up, hook up to it. We will unfold, just like you pretty much have to do with all of them. And once we are out at the outside, we've got that. Now, we do have a pipe out. One thing to note, you actually can't harvest with it up. For whatever reason, not quite sure the reason, but whenever we put that back down, boop, just like so, now I'm able to harvest again. I'm guessing because it goes so high up that it just can't reach it. Probably the reason, but just so you know, if you have a worker hired and you pull up next to it to do any carting, it will stop the worker. So heads up there. 2 more harvesters to go, and we kind of go in a reverse order. This is the DeWolf P3K Profi. This is a very, very basic 3-point hitch, actually, single row harvester that you have to cart with. 80 horsepower required, 0.8 meter working with, 4 miles per hour, and it is the one that you start with in new farmer mode. So most of you guys will probably be fairly familiar with this singular piece of equipment by itself. So let's back up. Even with this larger tractor, we still hook up with no problem. And this is kind of nice because it's right beside your tractor, not trailing. Should make things a little bit easier for you guys whenever you're hiring a worker on here. So let us unfold. Kidding. We have to pipe out, and that's kind of it. Then you just drop down and turn it on from there, and bam, that's it. On the pipe itself, we do have access to a couple pieces here. So if you have a taller trailer, you can do like that. Remember, set this before you hire your worker because it's not going to change after that. Otherwise, that is the only thing that you can do. No capacity. So do make sure that you guys have everything you need before you hire your worker and go. Our last harvester is for the people who like pain and torture. This is the P3CL Profi. I'm just kidding there, but this is probably one of the most difficult ones to use. It's not that difficult. It's just a pain in the butt. That's about it. 4 miles an hour, 0.8 meter, single row, 80 horsepower. It is the most easily accessible. I will say that, but I also think there's a reason they didn't give you this one in new farmer mode. So this one is quite interesting. It requires pallets. You have to unfold it, and that's the only capacity. So now that we've got this, let's get ourselves a pallet. And one of the nice things is pallets are included here, so we can either buy on the machine or we can buy them here and load them up. I'm just going to buy a new box and make it appear like magic. There you go. And then we can lower it and hire a worker. These pallets are only 2,000 liters each, so do keep in mind, yeah, it's going to take you a little while to fill it up, but once it's full, oh boy. Anyway, this is probably not the one I'm ever going to use. Next, let's talk about hillers and planters. So you need hillers to make the ridges in the field. You do not have to make ridges in the field. This kind of gives you a free fertilizer state, more or less. But the interesting thing is, this isn't actually what gives you the fertilizer state. It's using a planter on top of the hiller after you've hilled the field. That will give you the extra fertilizer. But if you don't feel like doing this, you just want to spray the field once and then plant it and then spray it again, well, you can actually do that and not worry about it. This one specifically gives you the option to do 2 different things. So 160 horsepower is required for this, 3 meters at 7 miles an hour, and it makes hills in the field. We could go into the 3-point here and say yes, and this will actually allow us to hook up a 3-meter planter behind it. So that's actually how I'm going to show it to you guys today. Let's talk about the planter really quickly. The one that goes with it is the Mini Air Nova Rigid. You can use this by itself. It holds seed on it. It's only 16 liters, but you can do quite a bit with just that 16 liters. Remember, you're doing regular crops. But these are the only 2 planters that do the new crops. You have to use one of these. 50 horsepower, 3 meters at 6 miles an hour. We'll go and get one of those. Now, we're in here. This is the only combo, unfortunately, that we can use with this. The other size is double, and we can't use it with that. So let's back up just a little bit. We'll get our trigger to pick it up. Sometimes it works. Other times you actually have to lower it down, and then we can raise back up just like so. So our planters are right perfectly aligned into our rows. So whenever we're ready to use this, we drop it down, turn on the hiller, turn on the planter, and go. Likewise, we have a larger set. So this is the Grimm GF 800. This is a 6-meter version, and none too crazy about it. 270 horsepower, 6 meters, 7 miles an hour. And then the planter that you would use, but you don't actually need to use this planter specifically, and you can use one with the other if you want. It just takes longer. This is the Mini Air Nova Fold. So it is twice the size, twice everything. 32 liters of seed instead of 16. 70 horsepower, 6 meters, 6 miles per hour. These, however, do not work in conjunction with each other, so you will have to do one and then the other. Meaning that using the little 3-meter version, if you're running a single tractor setup, you can actually get the same amount of work done in the same amount of time with a small double set versus doing all of this twice. I just think it's important to let you know it really doesn't matter. If you got 6 meters but you're doing it twice, well, there you go. It takes twice the time. If you have 3 meters but you're doing everything, make sense? There you go. Hope it makes sense. Anyway, for this, put it down, turn it on, and you make your ridges. Now, we will drop that and we'll go over here to the seeder. Now, the seeder is going to work exactly like the other seeder. We got our 3-point and we have our PTO. So we'll hook that up. We'll go ahead and unfold it. Looking good. The Convertolin, so it matches some of the other Convertolin equipment if you use that. Now, it only does 3 new crops: red beets, carrots, and parsnips. And no, I still don't know what a parsnip is. You could lower your seeder, you could turn it on, you could choose your different bits. You can open the cover, but the covers are so tiny. Look at that. Load that up. You fill it up like a normal seeder with a normal seed box. So if you are planting these new crops, a pallet of 1,000 or 2,000 liters of seed, boy oh boy, does that go a long way. Now we get into the part of everything else, and there's quite a bit of other stuff, but maybe not as much as you would suspect as far as equipment goes. So let's just start right here. We have the Smaz KDF 341S or 341S. This is a front mower. 110 horsepower is required. 3.4 meter working width at 13 miles an hour. We will get ourselves one of those, and it goes along with the KDD 341STH. 220 horsepower is required for this. 3.4 meters at 13 miles an hour, and we can change up the working mode on the back, which is awesome. So we will load it up here with our big Fendt 900. This should be more than enough. They weigh a lot, but so does the tractor, so we're good to go there. All right, so the front mower, we have a fold and unfold. Whenever you unfold, it drops down a little bit, and whenever you fold it back up, it raises up just a little bit. So heads up there. I wonder if this is one that you can lower without unfolding. You can, but you can't unfold it after it's lowered. So unfold it, let it drop a little bit, and then lower, and then you're good to go. Then we have the rear mower. So we will unfold these. These you actually can lower without unfolding them if you want to. We'll drop it down, and then we have our working mode. So we have a total swath drop. We have center swath drop, so everything will kick into the middle. The right-hand side will be a little weird. Left-hand side will be a little weird. And then we open both of them up. So there you go. Those are your mowers. And we got a tedder too. This is the Smaz P8 890, 60 horsepower, 8.9 meter working width, and 9 miles an hour. I think we've got quite a few things like this, but hey, we got something to do. Plus, we have a boundary spreading system. So we're going to get that, and we are going to check this thing out. So hook up to it, and we will unfold. Let's see what this boundary system is all about. And bam. All right, let's lower. So the boundary system is still up. Now I would love to, here we go. So you guys may notice whenever you go against like a fence or something like that, sometimes you get in a little bit of trouble kicking grass out of nowhere. Well, with this, if even I can quit messing around, you can actually get pretty darn close and not have that grass kick up. And also, tedding quite literally has the best animation in the entire game. I love it. That's it for your Grasscare. We have a couple weeders. The first was the Corn Puller 450, 45 horsepower, 4.5 meter working width at 7 miles per hour. And then we have a bigger version. This is the 600, so 60 horsepower, 6 meters at 7 miles per hour. Both of these are basically the same. They both do the same thing at the same speed. They're just going to be, one's a little bit bigger than the other one, 4.5 meters versus your 6 meters. I do think maybe back in Farm Sim 17 or 19, we did have these as mods or something very similar. And of course, the tines look great, but it's going to be exactly the same on both. There's really not much else you could do with these. We do have a tipper. You guys know I like farm tech trailers, and we've got one 28,000 liter capacity on here. We can also use this as a bale trailer if we want, although it doesn't auto load pallets, which is unfortunate. Then we have a 14,000 liter version, and then that 28,000. One other really neat thing is combining. You could put two of these together and make a little road train out of them, which I find super cool. Wheel brands, we have a Continental, Trelleborg, Michelin, BKT, Vetta Stein, and back in again. So we have quite a lot of different setups here, depending on what you want. We do have a cover, yes or no, and then we can even change the cover color to a nice yellow color, which I think actually looks better than the white. You guys let me know what you think at home. We'll get one of those, and then I think we should probably get maybe the bell trailer version, see what our differences are going to be, because we certainly will find something that's different between these. So we can open and close the cover. We have a nice sound animation. We have tip side back. We also have tip side green door. And then we have tip side left and right. And the entire side will dump, which is very, very nice. So, yeah, definitely check that out. If you haven't seen it, see open cover? For some reason, I was thinking there was something else. But, yeah, that's it. Here, I got the elms, too. Let's hook up to the bell trailer and see if there's anything different about this little guy. So we have fastened tension belts, which is very nice, and it doesn't look like there's anything else. Now, I do want to see, because this is a bell trailer, I have said that it doesn't have auto load, but we've got our pallets over here. It would just be so perfect if they just went boop, 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 wouldn't it? But unfortunately, they do not go boop, 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 and at all. You're gonna have to load them. We even have a manure spreader with this DLC, which I think probably threw a lot of people off, threw me off for sure. This is the Uni Apollo 16 Premium, 20,000 liter capacity, 5.9 tons, 150 horsepower, 12 meters at 9 miles per hour. We do have some different wheel options, including Trelleborg, Michelin, Continental, BKT, and Bredestein. So quite a few different things through there. Let's get ourselves one of these. Let's see what we could get into. Man, I got the elms today. Shouldn't record late on a Friday night. Maybe that's my problem. We'll back up to this. This is going to work just like any other manure spreader. So go ahead and open or unfold everything, and then you can turn on your manure spreader if you want to. We don't have anything in there right now. We can also activate our double application rate, which is very nice, but that's about it. A lot of ground care pieces of equipment came in with this DLC as well. We have the Unia Aries XL, 150 horsepower, 4.5 meter worker width at 11 miles an hour. That is a disc harrow. Then we have a seeder. This is the Unia Phoenix 3000-4, 3,000 liters. That's going to be seed only. You can see it seeds the standard crops right through there. It's also a direct drill. So yeah, you don't have to do anything ahead of time. 140 horsepower, 3 meters at 9 miles an hour. Then we've got another disc harrow. This is the Farming Softer 11 PS, 330 horsepower required for this because it's got a big working width, 10.5 meters. It folds up very, very nice, but it is quite large at 11 mile per hour max speed. We do have some wheels for this as well. Trelleborg, BKT, and that is it. Moving on, we have the Farming Phantom. Now, this is a cultivator. It's a big old cultivator as well. 12.3 meter working width, 9 miles an hour, and it requires half a thousand horsepower, 550 to be exact. It also weighs 14.4 tons. So if you guys were doing some major work in the field, this is going to be what you go for. And then we also have the Farming Falcon 6 Pro Fert Plus. So this has seed and fertilizer, 6,000 liters total between the two. 220 horsepower required for it, 6 meters, 9 miles an hour. It's also direct drill, so that is nice. Next up, we have the Bednar set. Now, this is a very interesting setup because we have 3 different pieces of equipment, and then we have a trailed seed and fertilizer box, which is very nice. So let's just start off with everything else. So we have, it says cultivator, but this is a power harrow. It's a large one. It may be the largest one we've got. 8 meters on here, 350 horsepower, 7 miles per hour. You can hook that up to this, but it will not inject any fertilizer or seed into the ground. All it does is it prepares your field. That being said, I love it. I love this a lot, and I've used this quite a few times because I love power harrows. I just think they're cool. So that is very, very neat there. Now, we have this guy, the TerraLand TN3000 HD7R Pro Fi. This is neat because you can use this by itself. It is a subsoiler, 3 meters at 7 miles an hour, requires 250 horsepower by itself. Configuration is a standard set, but we can also use it as a fertilizer distribution unit. And if you do that, you want to buy this and you want to set it up for fertilizer. There's nothing you need to do here. You just buy fertilizer to put in it instead of seeds. Then we have this guy, which is a seeder. Now, This seeder is fairly large, 225 horsepower, 9 meters, and 9 miles an hour. Weighs 3.3 tons by itself. It is not direct drill. I repeat, this is not a direct drill. So if you're going to be using this, you can, and I recommend using it with this. So this piece of machinery right here will either be a subsoiler fertilizer spreader or a seeder, just seeder. Or you can put a power harrow behind it for no reason whatsoever. One of the nice things is these pieces of equipment do work by themselves. You can put a seed box on the front of like your 3-point or something and use this with it, although it is not meant for that, but game physics technically allow you to do it. Don't cheat. They're so cool. How's about some sprayers? We have 3 of them. Our working ones are going to be basically identical for all of them. Its capacities and how it's treated is your differences. So we have the XL 8000, so 8,000 liters of fertilizer, 27 meter working width, but we can bump that to 30, 33, or 36, which is nice at 7 miles an hour. Wheel brands, we have Trelleborg, Michelin, Continental, Midas, BKT, and Vredestein. Now in Vredestein we have a standard and a wide tire, which is kind of cool. We also have standard and wide in Trelleborg and in Michelin and Continental. Midas is always going to be that wide tire. Jump it over, 2 axles, a little bit bigger, 13,500 liter capacity. Still working with the 27, 30, 33, and 36, and the same wheel setups. Then we get into the big boy, and I like this one. Now, this one has a very small capacity, only 6,600 liters, but it is self-propelled. So this is a very, very specialty machine. 285 horsepower, variable transmission, 275 liters of fuel. It will drive at 31 miles per hour. However, in the field is 15 miles per hour. It's got a 27, 30, 33, or 36 meter working width. And we have Michelin, Continental, Midas, Vredestein, and Trelleborg tires. We can do standard and wides for a few of those. Then we get into the last 4 pieces that come with this DLC. We have a little bit of a pallet handling, so we got ourselves one of those. And then we have the WIFO HMZ. This is basically a forklift for a 3-point, which is very cool. Then we have this guy, the HOD V275. This is for wheel loaders. It's a 2,100 liter capacity. But if we go into combinations, we actually have wheel loaders set up for this. So we'll get ourselves a Kloss wheel loader, and then finally, you guys have seen the vegetable pallets, which could be by 1, 2, 3, or 4. First, let's go ahead and show off this bucket real quick. So make sure that you have got all of your wheel loading needs in, good, ready to go. I don't really know what else to say other than look at the bucket. Yeah. And lastly, we have both of our pallet forks. Now we should probably also get ourselves another pallet so that we can move it around a little bit. You know, I'm going to buy 2 because I really don't trust myself. So first up, we will start with this guy. Now you can put these on the front or the back of your tractor. It really doesn't matter where you do this. In this one, we can adjust a little bit, but not too much. So we've got our angle and then raise and lower. One of the nice things is if you raise it all the way down, then click lower, it will lower it basically to the perfect height if I hadn't been messing around with it. So we'll back this right up, pick up our pallet, hit raise instead of trying to do it manually with mouse control, and we're good. We can carry this pallet and put it where we need to. When you get to your destination, simply drop down and pull forward. You're ready to get something else. Now, we will drop that there. Hopefully we don't hit anything through there. There we go. And then this next one I'm going to put on the front of the tractor. This one is a little bit cooler, I think. So this one has no angle adjustment. So where it is where it's going to be. However, it's got a pretty decent reach, which I find super duper cool. So we've got all of that. Plus we have the lower set here as well. If you drop that all the way down, it is going to drag the ground a little bit, depending on what kind of tractor you're using with this. Be careful. And then we can actually spread these apart or push them closer together if you need to, which makes this a very, very versatile piece of equipment. I do think we have a mod or 2 similar to this, but it is nice to see more. Hey, the more, the merrier. So we will pick up our pallet here. We will raise up and quickly send it shooting to the sky. Yeah! So this should allow you to use a tractor or something else like that to easily handle your pallets, or maybe even put something on the roof of your friend's farm. And if you're looking for any of the new specialty items, we have a new setup here in vehicles, vegetable technology, and we also have the same thing here in tools. Again, a vegetable technology tool. So if you're trying to use anything and maybe you can't find it for whatever reason, or you're like, hey, why are my icons in a different order? This is why. Well, guys, there you go. That is every piece of equipment that is coming with the Premium DLC, or Premium Expansion, Premium Edition, whatever you want to call it. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope it helped you. If you did, drop a like, get subscribed if you're new, enjoy the DjGoHam fam. Make sure notification bell's on as well. That way, you never miss daily farming simulator videos here on the channel. If you're curious about the new crops, or maybe the new map, or anything else about this DLC, there's a good chance I or somebody close to me has already made a video on it. So make sure you check all of the videos out. Check the premium playlist, all that good stuff. That way, you know everything. All that being said, hope you have a great day. We'll see you later.